Hey, you. Yeah, you. Welcome to the Malaka podcast.
Stalker. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not sure about a lot of things in life, but I'm pretty sure if you're a stalker, you're pretty much a loser. I mean, let's be honest. You're basically investing time in someone who doesn't like you or something that doesn't want to be a part of you. It's pretty pathetic. I mean, think about how much of a waste of time being a stalker is. You're trying to pursue something that clearly has no interest in you. So you're basically investing time that you'll never get back. So let's say if you're completely infatuated with someone who clearly has no interest in you whatsoever. You see these stories all the time on the news. This guy or girl is stalking an ex, and of course the ex doesn't want to be bothered anymore. Maybe they changed their mind. Maybe they're going back to their husband or wife. Maybe they just have no interest in you anymore. Maybe they got their eyesight back. Who knows? But they clearly have no interest in you whatsoever. So you're investing your time and effort for absolutely nothing. You're finding out where these people work and what are their habits and yeah, like what do they like to eat? Do they use enough salt and pepper on their meals? What toothpaste do they use? Who gives a shit? I mean, really, who cares? If the person has no interest in you whatsoever, just move on to the next person. Okay? I'm speaking from a guy's perspective here. Guys, if you're obsessed with a woman, just don't. Just don't be. I mean, there's no point. I once went to a restaurant and I'm chilling with my buddy, and the waitress comes over, and we were just talking to her or whatever, and then she says, "You know what, guys? Don't worry about it. Women are like buses. They come by every 10 minutes." And I'd like to think more of a woman than her just being a very heavy piece of metal, but she's right. I mean, there's no point in obsessing over something that you can't have. Just move on. You're just investing pointless time. You're just being this loser who has nothing else to do with their life, and deep down it's not going to work out. It's not like you're going to invest months and months of your time and all of a sudden she's going to say, "Wow, he must really care about me." No. No, you're living in a fucking fantasy world. It's just not going to happen. So if someone doesn't like you, just move on. It's cool. That's it. Maybe, it'll you can catch up later on in years and you forgive each other and maybe something will happen, a second sexy time. Who knows? I don't know. Has it happened to me? I don't know. No comment. The point is, I'm just saying, if someone, you invest so much time in one person and they don't care about you, who cares? Just move on. But I think it's beyond that. I think it's some kind of weird obsession that people have. I think, they're just fucking psychos and they get it into their head that, they want to pursue this and, they got nothing else to do. And then their whole mind is discombobulated and, they feel that something can change in the future or, these people are meant to be together on some level and, the person's going to do whatever it takes to just yeah, be with that person, and it's just all bullshit. You know, it really is. It's just it's just a waste of time. Just stop it. Let's see what Wikipedia has to say. A stalker is someone who engages in stalking. That's it? That's all you got? Because your Wikipedia has like tons of shit here. That's it. They just have that one sentence. Wow. Huh. I gotta be honest with you, Mr. Wikipedia. I'm assuming you're Mr. I don't know. Wow, I'm a little disappointed. Okay, let's go to the Webster dictionary here. Okay, so the definition of a stalker, according to Webster: a person who stalks, a person who pursues someone obsessively and aggressively to the point of harassment. So it's not even like you're just obsessed with this person, and like you want to be with this person, or I don't know, maybe you think they're Jesus or whatever, but you're aggressively doing it. You're probably making phone calls in the middle of the night, or you're, standing outside their house, holding a boom box. I saw it in a movie once, I don't know. And, it's just, it's sad. I mean, there's no point in doing this, just say something. Just say anything. Just say, you know what, I'm sick and tired of this shit. I'm going to get myself, a restraining order, and I'm going to stop this, But then a lot of people get a restraining order, and they're, they're still obsessed, because they're fucking crazy. So it's just weird, man. I don't get it, I understand. I've never stalked anybody. It's just way too much effort, I'm Canadian. I mean, like 10 months of the year, it's too cold to do anything outside. Those 2 months, it's sometimes it's too hot to do, just to go outside and do shit. So, and then I gotta, take my precious time, not that it's that precious, but yeah, it's decent at times. And, go out there and, find out where this person is and what they're doing, and grow a mustache and buy some sunglasses that don't fit right. And it's just, I don't care. I don't care. It doesn't matter. I've had my bad share of breakups, and it's like, you know what? It's cool, Oh, fuck you. No, fuck you. And that's it. That's pretty much it goes back and forth, a couple name calling, your mom's so fat, blah, 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 whatever. But then after that, it's done. I don't feel like stalking the person. I don't have time for this shit. I'm out of shape too. It's not going to happen anyway. I don't want to go for a walk when I don't have to, unless it involves getting food. I don't give a shit. I just let it go. That's it. Who cares? In the end, all I can say is this, and this is my personal opinion. If you're a stalker, first of all, you got a lot of free time on your hands. Second, you're just a loser. Okay. And third, this is all in your head. Okay, that you think that the person wants to be with you, you think you're best friends with the person, or you're marriage material or something, you need help. Just go get help. I don't know, take up painting, watch more movies. I don't know, find a good recipe, learn how to make a kick-ass tomato sauce, whatever. Just put your time towards something else. And take a good look at yourself and really ask yourself, why am I doing this? Is it for their gain, or is it for mine? And you'll realize you're basically fucked up and you got to get some help. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I've seen a couple movies in my time where it involves a lot of weird people also stalking. I'm just gonna go down the list here. Maybe you can relate. I remember in the 90s, there was a movie called Fear. It starred Mark Wahlberg. Now, Mark Wahlberg, as you all know, started off as a rapper. Yes, that's true. He had the hit Good Vibration. I think Rolling Stone listed him as like the worst rapper that year. As time goes on, I didn't think the rappers would get worse, but here we are. But anyways, this movie was kind of stupid. He was trying, I guess. I mean, this is before the whole internet thing. This is when you actually had to go outside, to stalk somebody. Make somewhat of an effort. Yeah, I'd skip this one. I don't know. I don't know. They looked like they had fun on the roller coaster. Other than that, I don't know. I don't. Yeah, whatever. Swim fan, 2002. I don't even know who's in this movie. It looks like the guy from I Hope They Serve Beer in Hell. Remember the kind of like the nerdy guy? That was a good movie. See that movie. This movie, I don't know. I never saw it. It looked stupid. I don't know. I had a friend of mine see it. He said it was good. Oh no. Sorry, he said it was shit. I'm sorry. Yeah, don't see this one. Yeah, I mean, wow. There's a lot of movies. When a Stranger Calls, it came out in 2006. I just find for the most part when a stranger calls, it's usually a telemarketer or something. Actually, it's funny. I had a telemarketer call me today, and it wasn't really stalking. I was just fucking with him. I don't know, something to do with like window cleaners or something. Oh yes, we're trying to get to to do the window cleaners. And I'm like, wow, that's great. When can you come over? Oh, that's what you want to talk to you about. You want to, and then I would just start making moaning sounds. Like, oh yeah. So when can you come over? Oh yes, that's what we want to talk to you about. We have these great deals. So when can you come over? You know what, buddy? You can go fuck yourself. So when can you come over? Hello? Hello? Yeah. So when a stranger calls, I don't know, tell them to go fuck themselves. I know what you did last summer. Yes. Good old Jennifer Love Hewitt. Wow, she's still a very pretty lady. This movie was actually pretty big at the time. It was about a dude who had a hook and tried to chase these kids because they ran him over and just threw him in the lake. Nobody bothered to check his pulse and see if he's still alive. But it's the '90s. We didn't really we didn't care back then, except for like grunge and decent weed, I guess. But yeah, it's all right. It's worth checking out. Scream, I guess that was these are more horror movies. I mean, are these really like stalker movie? I mean, all right, okay. Yeah, Scream was about well, I don't give a lot away. It's about this dude in a white mask, trying to scare people, and they're trying to kill some people, and it's I don't know. In the '90s, there was a whole bunch of these movies. There's the same shit. Scream 2, Scream 3. I don't know. I mean, The Boy Next Door, Jennifer Lopez. Okay, sure. Scream 4. Wow, they made 4 Scream 4 movies? Jesus, okay. Oh, Disturbia. Yeah, another winner with Shia LaBeouf. Anybody that knows me, I don't get the big deal with Shia LaBeouf. I mean, I don't know. I'll do a podcast on him one day. I don't know if I give a shit. But I didn't like this movie. A lot of people did for some reason. I don't know why. Yeah, basically, when you see a stalker in a movie, it's a lot of times it is over exaggerated and it just seems to be I don't know, the same shit over and over again, and for somehow the killer is related to the main person, and they're just trying to get him back for some reason, and I don't know, it's just weird. But oh, here we go. Okay, here's a good movie. 1 Hour Photo, starring the late great Robin Williams. Now, this is a period where Robin Williams was doing more, serious movies and serious roles and shit like that. And basically, this dude. Well, let me explain. For those of you that are under 20 listening to this, we used to have a thing called actual cameras. Now, they contained this thing called film. Now, what you would do is you'd take a picture. Believe it or not, you would actually have to go all the way to a drugstore or I don't know, some Photoshop, whatever, and you would give them your camera, and they would actually develop the film for you. So I know it's a huge pain in the ass. And again, you have no idea. I always wondered this even before this movie came out. Like, what if this dude, like, or dudette, kept, some of the pictures for him. Apparently they're supposed to keep track and shit like that. But I don't know. Like, you don't know. And this is the whole point of this movie. This guy was obsessed with his family, and he really just played a really good creepy guy. So I would check this movie out for sure. This is definitely one of Robin Williams' better movies for sure. Like, he didn't get dressed up as a woman or anything. He just was just a average weird little guy. And I don't want to give anything away, but it was pretty good. And then you got the sports perspective, which is The Fan, which I didn't even know they made the original one, like, I think in 1981, and then they came out with one in the 90s with Robert De Niro and Wesley Snipes, where Snipes was this baseball player, and I don't know, De Niro was just obsessed with this dude for some reason. I think it was the first time in history where an Italian guy was this obsessed with a black guy. But it was just insane. Well, I mean, ever since Sammy Davis Jr., of course. But De Niro played a great job. Snipes was good in it. Benicio del Toro's in it for a little bit. It's a pretty good, decent little movie. I would check that one as well. And and then you got The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. I never saw it. Rebecca De Mornay's in it. How could it be bad? I don't know. I saw her recently in one of the American Pie movies. I mean, she still looks great, man. I mean, I don't know. I'm assuming she's up to more risky business in this one, and probably obsessed with the dude. And she's the one that wants to rock the cradle, and she wants the baby to herself, I guess, and the dude. And it looks good to me. I'd recommend it. Why not? The Bodyguard, of course. We got Kevin Costner there. Holding it down for us white bodyguards, and just protecting Whitney Houston from this crazy fan. And a great one is Cape Fear. Now this is a great movie, just simply because of this one scene. Now, Robert De Niro is this guy who's obsessed with this one family. Nick Nolte's in it. He's got a family, whatever. And I think he's obsessed with the one girl, and the girl likes him. I don't know, because Nick Nolte's not around, I guess. He should be more, around to take care of your daughter. But anyways, there's a great scene in this movie where they're watching a movie in a theater, and like all this smoke appears and whatever, and like Robert De Niro's there, and he's just like smoking a cigar, and he's just like laughing his ass off, like and he's just laughing away. And Nick Nolte realizes that's the dude that's stalking his family. And I don't know. I always thought the most disturbing part was he's laughing at Problem Child, but hey, whatever floats your boat. So, and there's that other movie with what's it called? Glenn Close is in it, and Michael Douglas. I mean, that was a pretty good movie. I just saw it recently. I forgot what it was called. Fatal Attraction. Yes, that's what it's called. Okay, so, oh God, I mean, this is every guy's fantasy and nightmare at the same time. So basically, Michael Douglas is a businessman, like a lot of us are. And, his family just, goes on vacation, whatever, and he's got the weekend to himself, So keep in mind, this is the 80s, so there's no, you can't get good cell phone reception because, I don't know, I think cell phones back then weighed like 10 pounds or whatever. I don't know, they came with this like suitcase, and it's like FBI shit, and no internet, I mean, there was, but nobody actually knew about it till the mid 90s. But anyways, so he's like, all right, there's this new woman at work, she's cute. I'm gonna have sex with her. I'm gonna have this one night, and apparently in the morning, sex with her too. Because I mean, you're there, right? You might as well. And he's like, yeah, this is cool. But this is done after this, and she's like, all right, but in her head, it wasn't all right. And she, basically stalked the fuck out of him, at work with phone calls. And, I don't want to give a lot away, I will say this though, if you are a fan of rabbits, do not watch this movie, or don't watch the last like 20 minutes of it. Um, it's some people just take it way too far. Again, I know it's a movie. I hear you. I hear you. I've heard the stories why Michael Douglas actually got throat cancer. Believe me, it wasn't from cigars. But the point is, just if you're obsessed with somebody, don't be. Just move on. There's lots of guys named Michael out there. There's just tons of guys that just will put up with your craziness and your demonic stares and late night phone calls. And there's another great movie I forgot. I watched it recently with Clint Eastwood called Play Misty for Me. That was really, really good. That was that was some creepy shit, man. I mean, again, ladies, I'm not saying that you shouldn't obsess over Clint Eastwood, but the guy's got a life outside of you. But basically, Clint Eastwood, he plays this like radio DJ, and there's always an obsessed fan out there. And this woman played by Jessica Walter, who recently, last couple of years, has been on Arrested Development. She plays the boss there on Archer, the voiceover there. She was really good in this. I mean, I don't know if her and Glenn Close teamed up. I mean, I don't know, they can take over the world. But like she would just call in and Clint's just on the air, he's like, hey, what do you want to hear? And she's like, play Misty for me. And he's like, all right, and of course, we're guys, like that's the main difference between guys and girls. I mean, for the most part, I mean, if we have a stalker, I mean, we're eventually going to fuck her. If girls have a stalker, I mean, unless the guy looks like, I don't know, like Brad Pitt or, Taye Diggs or Morgan Freeman, I mean, it's going to be really creepy. So, I'm saying for the most part, this is a comedy show, guys. I'm just joking around. I mean, there's nothing funny about stalking, But yeah, I mean, in this movie, he of course has sex with her, and again, just hey, this is a one-time thing, and she's like, no, it's not, and and I don't think any rabbits were harmed in this one. I don't think so. Yeah, I think a couple houses got damaged, but anyways, yeah. So I mean, some really good performances in the last couple movies I've mentioned, and again, they're just performances. It's not real life. It's just meant for entertainment. Please do not imitate the moves and the skills these people have to follow these people, and try to make their one night stands into forever lovers. It's not cool. It really isn't. So just, don't lead by example. Just don't use this as an example. If that made any sense what I just said. Yeah. So basically, don't stalk anybody. Okay? Cool. Now, some songs that I want to get out there that pretty much are about stalking. Now, the Police have this song called Every Breath You Take. Now, I never really thought of it as a stalking song, I guess, but then someone made the mention of it. I mean, it does make sense, Every breath you take, every move you make, every bond you break, every step you take, I'll be watching you. Every single day, every word you say, every game you play, every night you stay, I'll be watching you. Yeah, this is some stalkerish shit, man. And the irony is, the name of the group is called the Police. You know, you think you could depend on the police, but they're always watching. Yeah, I just thought of that. I mean, do you ever think, like maybe that's why the Police did do this song. Like maybe it's about stalking, but at the same time, maybe it's about like a bigger issue about the police always watching you and always watching your every move. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm digging too deep into this, but just I don't know. Something to think about. Just saying. Oh, that's another stalker movie. The Samuel Jackson one. What was it called? The one that I don't know. A few people saw, I guess. I don't know. I forgot what it was called. But anyways, he played like a cop, and like he used his powers, to kind of stalk this one family because the wife was black and the husband was white. So again, that I mean, like honestly, unless you live in Toronto, it's very rare that actually does happen. So I mean, but at the same time, it was pretty racist. I mean, the guy's just stalking this poor dude. It's like dude, like I love her. Who cares if she's black? I mean, but apparently he did. I thought Samuel Jackson was great in that movie. I'm not gonna lie. I just really wish I could remember what the movie was called. As you can see, I don't do a lot of research for these podcasts. I don't know, the funding is not there. But I do recommend you do watch this movie whenever you have a chance. If you give me a couple of minutes here, I will look up the name of it. I know I should be better prepared. Once again, I'm not getting paid for this, so it doesn't matter. Somewhere, no, it wasn't the Avengers. A lot of people think, no, he was not. No. He just shows up at the right time, right place there. He's just there to, give his 2 cents, whatever. And yeah, no, that's not really stalking. That's just taking care of business. Lakeview Terrace. That's what it's called. Okay. Oh, okay, that was worth it. Okay. Yeah, so check that movie out whenever you get a chance. But anyways, back to the songs here. So, another shocking one I never really thought of, I guess, Smashing Pumpkins' Ava Adore. Ava Adore? Ava. A-V-A Adore. Yeah. First of all, I just want to say this. Billy Corgan is a fucking genius, okay? I was a kid in the 90s. I grew up with Smashing Pumpkins. These guys are awesome. But I guess so, yeah. I mean, it's about, adoring someone... and you're just so obsessed with them that you just can't get them out of your head. And I hear you. Yeah, kick-ass song. If you ever got a chance, check it out. Sarah McLachlan, Possession. There you go. I mean, see, you got the woman's perspective. She wants this guy to herself. I don't think Sarah McLachlan has aged in like 30 years. She still looks the same. I don't know, like, I mean, the hair's a little different, whatever, but the same face. I don't know, some women, I don't know, they got the fountain of youth. Her, Sheryl Crow, Sade, wow, that's awesome. Coldplay, Shiver. I don't know, I don't give a shit about Coldplay, I'm not gonna lie. And then there's that, Rockwell song, that's always awesome. I always feel like somebody's watching me. I think that was Tito in the video, right? Yeah, that was cool. Good little hook by Michael Jackson. Right on. Now, the song that everybody always trips out about is the Phil Collins song, In the Air Tonight. Now, he even said it on Jimmy Fallon. The whole rumor about, he saw some dude drowning somebody and then he saw him in the crowd. He put the spotlight on him in the concert. Oh my God, that's such a cool story. And it's complete fucking bullshit. It's just a cool song. That's all it is. That's it. So, see, you know what? Again, that's the problem with stalking, and not just in songs, just in general. Like a lot of people overthink shit. and they think, wow, okay, that's stalking, that's the. Just stop overthinking shit, okay? It's not all about you, okay? Here's a sad part about that song is that Phil Collins is an awesome drummer. He actually used a beat machine on that song because he felt it sounded better. So there you go. Beat machine, bullshit story. Boom. Done. Okay. Now, another form of stalking I'd like to talk to you guys about doesn't have anything to do with songs or bullshit movies. It is basically, that's the problem when you record this podcast. I mean, sometimes you got an ambulance going by and I don't know. Yeah, the stalking house is that way. Thank you. Oh. Anyways, sorry about that, folks. I guess they finally caught that pervert down the street. Did you ever, did you guys ever see that skit where they made fun of, or that cutaway, whatever, they made fun of Family Guy? They made fun of Mr. Rogers, and then they just show Mr. Rogers like being a peeping Tom, like a stalker to the girl next door. He's got the binoculars and he's like, "How you doing, neighbor?" Like I said, stalking is not fun, okay? But sometimes they make fun of it on Family Guy, then it's funny. Okay, so basically, we've covered a lot of ground here. What a stalker is, movies, music. Well, the obvious song. I almost forgot one last thing. A little artist by Eminem named Stan. Now, this is probably the best version of any stalking song I've ever heard. If you've never heard it, it's pretty awesome. I think it's up there in like the top 500 songs of all time, according to Rolling Stone. And well deserved, man. I mean, when I first heard this song, I was like, holy shit, this is like some good shit, but it's just creepy at the same time. So basically Eminem, at this point, he's made his second album, the Marshall Mathers LP, and he's just talking about how this one guy is just basically just stalking him, and he does everything like him, dyes his hair like him, and just really just an obsessed fan. And the term Stan, I mean, obviously it's a name, but it got to a point where I think a couple of years ago they actually put it officially in the dictionary. And, it just basically means, a stalker. So that's how powerful this song was. And, I mean, I'm sure probably in real life, I mean, a lot of movie stars get stalkers and stuff like that. I mean, you hear about these guys and girls, they're just obsessed. I mean, they try to break into these people's houses and, I don't know, wasn't there the one dude that broke into George Harrison's house and, I don't know, he had to fight him off and, I mean, like he had a guard and everything. It was a shitty guard. Actually, that was another thing they parodied on Family Guy where, I don't know, he just showed Peter just outside of his house and, a little booth there and, he's just watching Charles in Charge, Charles in charge of our days. And, the guy jumps over the fence or the wall, whatever, and Peter's just like, hey, keep it down, wacky beetle, Of course, again, it is not funny. It sort of is, but it's not funny. It sort of is. But I'm just saying, it's tough being in the public eye, man. I mean, you got these people just being obsessed with you, and Eminem just made a hit song out of it. And, he... at the time, Eminem got a lot of shit for being a homophobic, and then he did a song, he did his version of the song with Elton John singing the chorus instead of Dido. And I'm pretty sure after that, when you make a song with Elton John, I mean, you can't be called a homophobe. It's like saying you got God as a best friend and you're not religious, so that's bullshit. So, sometimes you gotta make a negative into a positive. And check out the song. Check out the video with the song. It's even better. So, it stars that dude that was in Final Destination. I don't know. That's another series. I don't know. They made like 12 movies. I don't know what the fuck do we need so many movies for? I don't know. I don't know. Why do we need so many Jurassic Parks? I don't know. I don't get it. I don't know. I don't know. We can't write any more scripts about humans stalking humans. Now we got dinosaurs stalking humans. And anyways, speaking of animals though, or reptiles, or I don't know whatever the fuck dinosaurs are. Um, like a form of stalking there is when you got like animals, stalking other animals. I was mentioning this before I went on my stupid rant. But if you ever watch this shit, it's crazy. You'll see like I don't know. I saw this thing recently about this little tiger. I mean, it looks like a kitten. It's like the size of your fist, not even. And like they had this night vision, and you could see like it just sees everything at night, and it's just like, it's got the laser eyes, and it's just like looking at its prey. And when you're in the wild, like if you don't put in the effort to, get your meal, you're not eating. So the cat or the tiger or whatever the hell it is. I mean, it's just stalking its prey, and it's just waiting for that right moment just to pounce, and eventually it does. And there's a moment where like even in the night vision, like you can see it like just on top of it, and it's just like eating the carcass there. And then at one point it just like kind of looks in the camera, and like I think it knows the camera's there, and all it's missing is the music, dun dun dun. And it's fucking creepy, man. So I don't know. I mean, like, I don't know. Maybe that's where humans get, like, the animal instinct of stalking. I mean, maybe it's like a power thing. Maybe it's, I think, again, like I said before, I think a lot of these people are just pussies. I don't know. Like, I think it might be just a power thing. It really just might be. I think it's one of those things where, maybe they got rejected or something, and they just want to know they have power over that person. And the sad thing is, like, once they probably see this person, they're not going to do shit. I mean, maybe they will. I mean, who knows? I wouldn't take that chance. But I'm just saying in general. I mean, I think it's just a way of saying just, hey, you can't control me or whatever, But in reality, it's like, hey, you're a fucking loser, So I don't know why. I don't know why. I mean, unless you're, an animal in the woods, I understand why, you would stalk anything. I don't get it. But all these different, ways I've, explained here, the music, the movies, whatever, the animals, it's just different things to stalking, But it's just weird, man. It really is, And I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'd like to close off this podcast with a little story that's, that involves me, When I do these podcasts, I like to, say, something from my perspective, of course. And I've been holding on to this one for a while, and I think it's about time that people know what is really going on in this certain situation that I'm dealing with in my life. Ladies and gentlemen, like I said before, I'm a very simple man. I live a very simple life. I work. I like to play. Sometimes I even have I like to have a drink or two. Maybe smoke a little weed here and there. Now it's legal, of course. Before I wouldn't even think of it, of course. But yeah, just like I said, a very simple life. Very simple. I don't want to hurt nobody. But at the same time, I'm a very honest person, and I've always said there's a very thin line between honesty and asshole. So unfortunately, a lot of people do not see the difference. Smart people do, of course. And, a lot of times it does get me into trouble. So like I said on my previous podcast, two-part podcast, actually, about talking about, the whole online dating process, computer love, parts 1 and 2. Check out those archives. They're great. No, they really are, actually. But anyways, so basically I, met this one girl online, and yeah, everything was fine. I mean, I don't know, we didn't have a big connection or nothing like that. We just went out on a couple dates, a couple hangouts here and there, nothing special, And I'm at the point in my life where I'm looking for something more serious, So I was straight up with her. I said, listen, I just don't feel the connection there. It's not there. And it's nothing personal. It's nothing against, you or nothing like that. I just don't feel it. But I'd still like to be friends, because I thought she was a really nice person. And yeah, I thought everything, was cool. I mean, we even hung out afterwards. I introduced her to my friends, I introduced her to, my local bar, that I go to, just hang out there. And, I even asked the people there, I'm like, yeah, would you care if she came by? "Oh, we don't care. It's all good, whatever." So now, to be completely honest with you, I mean, I didn't think I was going to see her that much because, keep in mind, she lived almost like, let's say, like 50 kilometers away, which is a pretty fair distance, I mean, she's got her friends, she's got her own life, I'm not saying that I didn't want to ever hang out with her. I, just didn't think it would, I would see her that much, and, yeah, it's, in many ways, I mean, it was weird because she kind of took over like the whole situation. I mean, so she basically, started coming to, the bar, without me, not telling me that she was going to come there. She became really good friends with the bartender there. I mean, with me and the bartender there, like I never really did anything that much with her, but at the same time, like we never went out or nothing like that. There's always been a little thing here and there, but it's just, I mean, she's got her own problems, I didn't want to mess with that. So when I, heard like she was really good friends with her, I was like, okay, that's cool, whatever. I mean, she doesn't have a lot of friends. She, the other person doesn't have a lot of friends. It's like, okay, sure, why not? Who cares? That's how you meet people, So, but I just found it weird that she would travel like so far, to come all the way in my area, like I said, like 50 kilometers. I mean, that's a lot, man. I mean, and like she would go all the way here and then drive all the way back, and she would do this like, and she still does like quite often, back and forth, like at least probably, I'm assuming at least 1 to 3 times a week, and then she got really close with this bartender. I mean, they go on trips together, they go to concerts together, and now it's gone to a point where, she used to bring her friends and now she doesn't bring her friends anymore. I guess her friends don't want to make the commute because it's so far. I mean, think about it. Like, why would you commute like all the way, to a bar where, you didn't know anybody until I introduced you to people there? I mean, it's like, again, I'm not saying that you can't meet, friends outside your area, but I mean, to do this like on a daily basis, like, I don't know, like to me, it's just weird, and especially like since your friends, like, like we don't see your friends anymore, over at that place, you know what I mean? So it's just weird, and I don't know. I mean, they kind of got like now like a Thelma and Louise kind of thing happening here, and now it's gone to a point where she doesn't even talk to me. Like she, won't message me anymore. She, but she'll still like show up at the same place at the bar where she knows I always like to hang out. And even when like I kind of broke it off with her, like, and I just wanted to be friends, like she's like, so like you got to tell me like what is it about me, like what is it, that I'm like, I don't know, it's not there, that's all. It's nothing personal, it's nothing personal, Sonny. It's just it's strictly business. But anyways, yeah, it's just weird. I mean, but the travel like 50 kilometers, just to hang with people. I mean, that again, they did not know her before I introduced her. It's just it's really weird. And I've told this to a couple people too, and like they're like, wow, this is like that's really weird. Like, why would she come all the way here for nothing? Like, even people in that bar, are like, like they would ask her like, where are you from? Like, oh, like, oh, okay, like, so why do you come all the way here? And like she never really has a good response. And It's just weird. And what's even weirder is like when I went out with her, she would tell me that she did business with this guy who lived in the area, who lived in my area, and like she didn't really mention that until like after like we became friends, or it's kind of like that, period where whatever, just broke it off and it's just friends, whatever. So then she starts mentioning all this stuff now. She says, "Oh yeah, I know this guy. We have a scarf business together." And I'm like, "Well, why didn't you mention this before?" She's like, "I don't know," and whatever. And then later on, like she says, okay, she starts going out with this guy now, because I guess something blossomed or whatever. And then, like for a while before that, the guy was literally, ironically stalking her, and like it was one of those weird things where like she would tell me stories, like she would be at work and like the guy would literally be like on the street on like the like kind of like peeking, outside of a wall or something, like outside of a sidewalk or some shit. Like it was just really weird stuff. And like she would tell me like the guy would call her 99 times a day, and I'd be like, why 99 times? Like, I don't know, was he like a Gretzky fan, or and then she said no, like he knew that if he called 100 times, then that would be considered, harassment. Ladies and gentlemen, again, I do this podcast. It's called the Malaka podcast. I'm not the smartest man, but I'm pretty sure that that rule does not exist in life. I'm pretty sure you can harass someone with just one phone call. I mean, I don't think it would have to be 99, and then there's like a safety net where it's like, oh, it's not 100, it doesn't count. And I even actually told this to a cop one day, and I just said, look, just for shits and gigs, like, is this actually true? And like even before I could finish, like saying it, like the guy was laughing. He's like, no, there's no rule where like it has to be 100 for you to, consider it harassment. And then at one point, like she even said that like the guy was stalking her so much that she hired a private detective, and he found like a tracker in her car, and she doesn't know how it got there. And but then it's weird because like months later they ended up going out with or she ended up going out with that guy, and plus they're in some kind of scarf business together, because we all know, on those cold days in August, how much we need a scarf in Toronto. And yeah, it's just, I mean, the whole thing was just, it just didn't make any sense to me, And here's the weird thing, like, she showed me a picture of this dude, and it's always the same picture, and no one has ever seen this guy. So let's review here. You travel all the way from one end to the other to come to, where I'm from. You somehow magically meet this guy who no one has ever seen. You would think if you go to the same bar that I go to, or just a bar that's you're really close to. I mean, keep in mind, apparently the guy lives like 10 minutes away from this bar. You would think that this guy would just be there with her. You're going out with the person. I mean, why wouldn't you want to, spend time with your, girlfriend? Why wouldn't you want to do that? And I even asked, the bartender who apparently they're inseparable now. I mean, I even asked her, I said, have you ever seen her with this guy? And I'm not saying this because I'm jealous, or I'm like, look, all the power to you. It's all good. But I just find this whole thing weird. All of a sudden you hear about this, and then, she never really answered me. She kind of gave this look like, yeah, like, I don't know, and like, it's just so weird, and all I wanted to do, honestly, like, I felt really bad for her, And that's the problem, I think, with a lot of stalkers, is that, a lot of people, they just don't know how to separate, like, space from someone. I mean, they don't know how to give someone space, And I just really just wanted to help her out because I felt bad. I mean, it didn't seem like she had much of a life. She didn't have many friends. And, clearly after all this, I was clearly wrong. Uh, but it's just weird. Yeah. So she'll just show up there randomly, uh, at the same bar I go to, Now she's, friends with a lot of my friends, and she's friends with, the bartender there. And, like I said, they're inseparable. And it's just weird, man. I mean, it is just absolutely weird. And like I said, I've told this to other people, and yeah, they think, yeah, this is really fucked up. Like, it makes no sense. I mean, the question it just keeps coming up is like, why would she travel all the way from where she is to the place I go to? And I'm not even saying like she still contacts me and, and nothing like that, But I do find it weird that, like I said before, like she comes all the way, like 50 kilometers away, She also did say she didn't sleep a lot for some reason. I don't know why. Like, I don't know, like maybe, I mean, you gotta assume, like, I mean, if you're a stalker, yeah, you're probably not getting that much sleep, because you work a full-time job, you gotta stalk someone. I mean, that takes effort, I guess. And, she said she would only get like maybe 1 or 2 hours of sleep. And, it's just crazy, man. It really is. So yeah, like I was saying, the question that keeps coming up is, like, why would she travel all the way? Like, why wouldn't she just stay in her area? It's just weird. I mean, it really is weird, And of course, the bartender's not helping, this situation at all. I mean, she's kind of instigating the whole thing. And she even told me that, it got to a point where, they started hanging out, and like she didn't want to tell me, and they would do our trips. I'm like, look, I don't care. That's cool. I mean, if you guys want to do that, that's fine with me. It really doesn't matter to me. Like, it really doesn't. As long as you guys are both happy, it's cool. But everyone just keeps coming up to me and going, you're the one that's making a big deal out of it. And listen, I'm not saying I want to make a big deal out of this, but it's just weird that people travel this far just to, have friends, and, and then all of a sudden you don't see their friends coming. Yeah, because she used to bring her friends to the bar, and now she doesn't anymore. So I don't know, there's definitely something going on there, and it's just weird, man. Like, it really is. I mean, I don't know. Like, for me personally, I mean, you got to be really desperate to kind of like take over or try to take over someone's life. And, I mean, like, before this, like, you had no idea this place existed. Now someone breaks up with you, and now all of a sudden you just want to take over this like situation and make it yours. And you know what? I just want to get this out there and say, yeah, this is the sad reality of this situation, Because I'm sure a lot of people are going to give me shit after this, But you know what? Truth of the matter is, you're not my real friends. If you can be persuaded and taken over, by someone who doesn't care about someone all of a sudden and just wants their life, it's just weird, man. It really is. Like, I don't understand how this person can actually live with herself. Like, I don't get it. Like, I really just don't understand. I mean, like, what are you trying to prove? Like, I mean, it's obvious that you can't, survive in your area, by making friends and just, I'm not saying you got to stay in your area. I don't give a shit, but it's just weird that you have to travel all the way here to, especially only my place that I go to, and almost like kind of make me look like the bad guy and, take over, my little private territory, that I like to go to. And it's just weird, man. Like, it really is weird and desperate and sad, And like I said, I'm not the only person that thinks like this. And a lot of people think that I'm always the bad guy in the situation. Like, I'm the one that, is the asshole. And, clearly it's my fault because we broke up. And it's just weird, man. It really is. So I just wanted to get this out there and, tell people this is the sad reality, is that she didn't know anybody until she came to this bar. She wouldn't have had any friends if it wasn't because of me. And, when she invites over to people to her place, like my friends, keep in mind, you guys would not have known this person unless it was because of me. And, a lot of times you guys are probably using this person as well, and her house and, her, money and all that shit. And again, it wouldn't have been possible if it wasn't for me. And it's very sad. There's no winners in this. You know what I mean? Like, I almost hate that I have to do this, but I'm sick and tired of always being the bad guy. And yeah, I'm not going to stand for it. Like I said before, people in this case, that don't see who the real psycho is in this situation, I just feel bad for you. And like I said, I've talked to other people, that have no involvement in this situation. And yeah, they're on my side. And it's pretty clear. But that's the problem with stalkers, is that, a lot of stalkers, they don't even have the balls to admit that they're stalkers. They just, will try to get involved in someone's life and, and then they pick people that, they know, okay, if they persuade them with, their charm or, their money or, or try to put people against each other, like they know how to play that game, and I'm not really about that. I don't want to put anyone against each other. I just want to help somebody out of a bad situation. But it's clear that, it's one of those things where people, they just don't see that. And a lot of people, should be told the whole story. And then from there, just judge. I feel in the end, I'm a very good person. I really do. Do I have my faults? Absolutely. Do I, say the bad things at the wrong time? Absolutely. Do I say what's on my mind and it gets me in the shit? Of course. But one thing I'm not is a person who would travel like over 50 kilometers just to take over someone's life. I know what a lot of people are going to say. They're going to say, yeah, you know what? What's the big deal? You know what? You're just doing this to make yourself look good. It's not true. And the people that are smart and are listening to this know that in the end, that she's created a real fucked up situation. And even she knows deep down that, yeah, this situation is really fucked. But the one thing you can't do is back down. So if you're ever stalked by somebody, my best advice to you is to tell someone. Involve the police if you have to, because you don't know what this person is capable of. It's sad that this person has to come all the way from wherever they come from and, disturb someone's life. And deep down, they know they have a lot of problems, but they'll just never admit it. They'll just find other people that have similar problems and, build their little circle, and then they think it's okay. But really, it's really sad. I mean, honestly, I just feel really bad for people like that. And I just don't understand how they can live with themselves. But a lot of people like this, they're just so far gone. And like I said, they're just surrounded themselves with so many other bad people. They just can't see how bad they are. And instead of just, admitting that something didn't work out, they can't just move on. But in the meantime, just don't back down. If you're the person who's putting up with this, just, stand up to them, involve the law if you have to, because you don't know what this person's capable of. You don't know what kind of dangers, this person could present. You don't know if this person is capable of smashing your TV or, hitting you or slashing you so many times in the back, both mentally and physically, and you just don't know. So do what you got to do to protect yourself. And if you're the other person that's bothering another person, just ask yourself, do I really want to be a stalker?